Okay, the next item on our agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Council President, I approve the agenda, make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Okay, Councilman Sutton,
Second.
Councilman Burke, thank you. Any additions or deletions? Okay, hearing none. All in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion's approved unanimous. Our next item is proclamations. We have two proclamations tonight. One's for Down's syndrome awareness, and the other one is the Extra Mile Day. For the Down syndrome awareness, Sherry will read the proclamation, and Bubba Tramp is here with his father to receive the proclamation. So go ahead.
Thank you. So I just wanted to make a point that it's October's Down syndrome awareness. And I find this very important to make sure that the public is aware. And, you know, everyone should be make notice of that. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. Whereas our community believes people with Down syndrome belong in the community and have fundamental moral, civil, and constitutional rights to be fully included and actively participate in all aspects of society. And whereas our community believes people with Down syndrome are defined by their own strengths, abilities, and inherent value, not by their disability. And whereas our community believes that people with Down syndrome with appropriate resources and support can make decisions about their own lives and must be heard on issues affecting their lives. And whereas the city of Green River is interested in the welfare of and improving the quality of life for citizens for Down syndrome. And whereas we want to encourage businesses, individual citizens, and the community at large to work together to promote respect and inclusions of individuals with Down syndrome and to celebrate their accomplishments, talents, and contributions. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Pete Rust, do hereby proclaim October 2023 as Down Syndrome Awareness Month. So we're going to take a picture, right,
We'll go
Council
down.
President?
We'll go down, take a picture with Bubba and everyone.
We're going to go.
That's trouble. There.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Bubba helped with the long time, several years now. Yeah. And he was the manager and Lori, I told Lori that I love that kid. So, Bubba, congrats. Can you look over here? Oh, there we go. Nice, good job. Thanks, Bubba.
It's yours.
You want to keep that? Here.
And the other proclamations for Extra Mile Day proclamation, it says, I don't believe anybody's here to receive that, is there? Okay, we'll just go ahead and read it, not have a presentation then.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Extra Mile Day proclamation. Whereas Green River, Wyoming is a community that acknowledges that special vibrancy exists within the entire community when its individual citizens collectively go the extra mile in personal effort, volunteerism, and service. And whereas Green River, Wyoming is a community that encourages its citizens to maximize their personal contributions to the community by giving of themselves wholeheartedly and with total effort, commitment, and conviction to their individual ambitions, family, friends, and community. And whereas Green River, Wyoming is a community that chooses to shine a light on and celebrate the individuals and recognize or organizations within its community who go the extra mile in order to make the difference and lift up fellow members of their community. And whereas Green River, Wyoming acknowledges the mission of the Extra Mile America to create 550 extra mile cities and is proud to support the Extra Mile Day. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Pete Rust of Green River, Wyoming do hereby proclaim November 1st, 2023 to be Extra Mile Day. I urge each individual of the community to take time on this day to not only go the extra mile in his or her own life, but to also acknowledge all of those who are inspirational in the efforts and commitment to make their organizations and families, community, country, and world a better place.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Okay, next on our agenda is citizens' requests and other communications. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to bring a subject up for the council? Yeah, please come up and say your name.
Hi, my name is Renee Sanova.
Okay.
And I am here to talk about the weed problem along the right of way along my house on Astle Avenue. So I did send out an email to each of the city council members asking you to drive by, get a look at what I was talking about so that you could see for yourself. And I'm curious, besides Mayor Rust, how many of you actually drove by and looked at the property? I know Ron has looked at it.
And I have.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I looked at it too.
So we bought the property in 2013 and the city has mowed the weeds along Astle Avenue that we know of one time. My husband and I, mostly my husband, take care of that part of the right of way. We mow it, we weed it. Since we bought it, we've been doing it. This is not our job. This is the city's job. This is the street's job. The city needs to step up, the street crew needs to step up, and they need to do their job. If we didn't mow these weeds, they would be 6 feet tall by now. We just mowed it 5 weeks ago. That's why they're so short right now and they're dying off. All it's gonna take is one, I'm gonna say it, jackass, to throw out a lit cigarette and burn those weeds down and possibly burn our house down along with it. And if that happens, you're going to have an even bigger problem on your hands. I can promise you that. So when I emailed you guys, I got a response back from Mr. Jost
Yes.
that he was going to email the appropriate people about my weed concern. And the next day, we woke up to this on our door.
I know, I heard that.
Yes. So we got a warning. We were cited a warning saying that we needed to take care of the weeds. My husband called Officer Fryer, advised him that this was not our job. He advised my husband to just take a mower to it and mow it down. That's what he said. My husband said, no, this is not our job. So obviously, this is not sitting well with us. Where was the breakdown in communication? From me complaining about the weeds to me getting a nuisance ticket warning for it. Where was the breakdown in communication here? Should the nuisance officer not already know his job of what is the responsibility of the city? He should have already known his job and not given us this warning. So the way we see it, the city has two options. Either step up and take care of your weeds because we're done doing it, or deed us over the land. And then once the land is ours, we would be happy to take control of it and weed it. If neither of these happen, then maybe I should start calling the nuisance officer on the city and giving you guys the tickets. That's what I have to say about that. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you. Is there a response for that from anyone? Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, it's going to be the same complaint.
Okay.
So my name's Mary Williams. Mr. Jost, you know me. I've delivered your mail for 23 years. I know most every, Mr. Shotron. My husband's Ron Williams. Don't think he doesn't get the complaints at home. So I got a problem with the weeds and the weeds in the right of ways. My father-in-law, and you guys know this, Mr. Kilpack, Mr. Jost, was a city councilman for 12 years. And at no time has it ever been the city's responsibility ever to take care of the right of ways, the ditches, or the alleys in this city. And I've noticed that the railroad probably didn't get a citation like she did, and the railroad looks like crap. Our city sidewalks look like crap. Our right of ways look like crap. And our alleys look like crap. We are infesting mosquitoes, rodents. The weeds are going to seed now. So we're a little behind the ball on getting this done this year. Then it's going to turn into tumbleweed. And how many of you people have tried to avoid tumbleweed on the street and go into the next row of hitting the next vehicle? My son walks down East 2nd South, where nobody is adjacent to that sidewalk, and has fallen numerous of times and has come home bloody, which we have called Mr. Reed Clevenger. Sometimes it took 2 months to get on it. Last time it only took a week to get on it, and whoever did it did a great job, and I recommend them for that. But this isn't our problem. We have our jobs. We work 40 hours a week. We have an income from the place we work for. And I don't want to even hear you guys don't have it in the budget or don't have enough employees when I see one city employee for the last 20-some years drive up and down your window, up and down Flaming Gorge, and never get out of his vehicle. 3 times today in less than an hour and a half, I watched him go the whole ways around the city and do his turnaround, Chambers of Commerce, and right back down. And I witnessed this as a carrier delivering mail for 23 years. I don't have to say his name. Reed knows his name. We went to high school with him, and he did the same thing back in the 80s in his own personal vehicle. So I don't want to hear we don't have the budget. We spent $600,000 on 5 vehicles we didn't need that people are just driving around town in. We got 5 new employees that we didn't need. That was more of a want. So I don't even want to hear we don't have the budget or the employee staff to do it, because we do.
Thank you. Is there anybody who wants to make a comment on any of that? Go ahead, Ron.
I've been dealing with this with Reed for going on over a month with memos after memos about the complaints, as you heard from my wife, from different postal people. And I go to Smith's and I get complaints left and right. And like they say, why is the railroad immune from this? But we can cite citizens, and I can't answer them. I said, I don't know. I think it's wrong. The city needs to step up. And I'm telling you right now, as a city employee for 32 years, I might have put it on as 4 or 5 hours a day into my 8 hours. There's a lot of screwing off going on out there. And there's no reason this would only take 2 weeks. One full-time guy and a couple seasonals could get this job done in 2 weeks. We could do it now and it would be done. And then next June, July, herbicide a little bit. And guess what? We don't have no more problems. We don't have no more complaining no more. We just need to address the issues and go after it and get it done. I'm almost to the point of hook up the John Deere tractor with the mower on the back and I'll go out and do it real quick. You know, I'm retired. I got time. Give it to me. I'll go get it done. I know how to do it. But we just got to get direction. Reed needs to talk to his directors and say, get it done. And you get it done. That's what's frustrating me right now. We got to get a little aggressive, be more proactive instead of reactive. We see problems. We got to get on it before the citizens get on us. And this is just frustrating the heck out of me. Drive up Elm Street and Fur and stuff like that. You'll see 3-4 foot weeds in those alleys. And I'm telling you, it strikes a match to it. Some kids back and playing fireworks or who knows what, it's going to take up that whole alley. And if you don't believe me, ask Larry. He's the fire chief over there, assistant fire chief. He'll tell you it's going to light up that whole block. And who knows what property damage. Me as a councilman, I think it's my responsibility now to try to stop a problem before it happens. And I tell you right now, it sucks. is when those weeds die and they turn into big tumbleweeds and you get them all piled up against your garage door one day in a good heavy wind. And you're out there picking them all up, stuffing them in the garbage can. I mean, let's just be proactive and get to this, please. That's what I'm asking, you know? Thank you.
Go ahead, Gary.
My personal opinion about this is I don't think this meeting is the appropriate time to discuss it.
No.
I think we should make a time for a workshop and invite you to come to the workshop. This is a business meeting. This isn't a meeting that we should discuss these type of things and to come to a conclusion. What we're supposed to do is listen to the citizens. And then if we need to go to a workshop, then that's what this is appropriate for. So I think we should not discuss this. I mean, we can have comments,
Sure.
but I think we should move forward and go to a workshop with this and do it in a workshop and not in our council business meeting, because this is made for a business, not for, it's made to hear the citizens and what their concerns are and then move to a workshop. That's the only comment I have, and I'm not for or against. I need to, and I did drive by your house. And I do have a son-in-law that has the same issue, but he goes out and cleans it up and takes care of it and keeps it and it looks nice. And he just wants to do that because he just wants to be a good citizen. And I'm not saying you're not, but yeah. And I think that's good. I think if we had more people in our community that would be more proactive themselves to take care of their own properties, then it would be even better. But I think we should do this in a workshop. Not in this meeting, but that's my comment, Council President.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good to me.
There any other citizens that would like to say anything? Okay, next item on our agenda is consideration to release a portion of the Seneschal addition standby letter of credit. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Council President, members of the council, Mark Westman, Public Works Director. The Seneschal subdivision continues to move forward with the underground utilities in place. They're moving on to doing some more closer to the surface work, placing the base. The subdivision development agreement and the ordinance allow the applicant to request a release of a certain portion of the construction security as the work progresses, and that's what we're here for tonight.
Any questions? Go ahead, Ron.
My concern with this up there is when they dug up to attach on to the city's, water and sewer line out in 7th Street.
Yep.
I read a memo back on the end of August 30th, saying when we to get this paved, because again, I don't want to hear all the complaints through the winter when the snow gets in and we're going to have it tore up. Reed said they were going to get to it this year. Do you have any idea when they're going to get to this? Because winter's coming.
Yeah, we have been talking to both the contractor that's working on it and also the paving contractor who is also working for us on other jobs. And it's their desire to get that portion in the street done when they're doing the patching in that area. There's one just over on 8th. And our goal is to get out of the street. Yeah. The contractor's goal is to get the whole thing paved before winter. So at the bare minimum, we'll get the street done, but ideally the whole thing will get done.
Well, see, that's where I say, I don't know if it's my place or not to say it this way, but I would vote against giving them any kind of money until I see some action. Get this road fixed and then we'll bring this back up and then we'll get you your money. But right now, I ain't gonna vote for it because I want to see that thing fixed right there, And I want to see it a little bit safer for the citizens when they walk their kids to school and this and that. So that's what I mean. I don't know if we can say, well, this is just the underground stuff, this and that, but technically that's part of the underground stuff in my book. So I'm going to vote no. I mean, no big deal, but so.
Okay, is there anyone else that has any comments? Questions?
No.
Okay, thank you, Bart. Ready for a motion then?
Mayor, Council President
It's okay.
George,
Yep, go ahead.
I move to approve the the partial release in the amount of $473,183 for standby letter of, for a standby letter of credit number 203567 issued by the State Bank for the installation of subdivision improvements installed in the Sensual Edition.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, the next item on our agenda is the consent agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next item is city administrator's report.
Council President, Council, I'm having Mark, he's handing up to you the this draft document regarding the goal setting and stuff that we talked about putting together. This will be for you to review. We're not going to go over it tonight. The idea behind it is to review. I get you guys a chance to take a look at some of the steps about setting up goals, taking a look at the history over the last 4 years of the goals that were already in process that were being worked on, to make some notes on that, comment on it, on the material, give some direction or preference, get that back to Pete. He was asking sometime like by November 3rd, some comments in there. We'll take those comments and we'll update the document. Then we're going to look to schedule a workshop session or just a discussion just for council to go over this document and talk about this. Basically, when you walk through it, you'll see there's things that are going to discuss all the industry coming in. There's going to be stuff talking about the, multiple things that have changed over the last couple of years, having to deal with supply chain shortages, labor shortages, or how the budgets have trended, the focus of council the past couple of years and where they want to go going forward. So you'll have a chance to go through all that. And after we get all the comments back and get that out, then we'll set up another work group session. That will most likely include admin as well as department heads and the council. And we'll start breaking down some of the things that want to get done. Or to take a look at and focus. There'll be a lot more information regarding all the different meetings and myself and some of the department heads are in regarding the pulse meetings and the state meetings that we're doing with housing and some of the meetings we're doing with all the different industry coming in here across the state. We'll be able to put all that together. Then we're going to determine kind of the goals and perspectives from your standpoint. We can talk about personnel needs, impacts from the department's budgets, costs, that kind of thing. Creating some surveys for the public. And then from that, we'll produce an updated plan in that session. And then we'll move that towards towards next year's budget and towards next year's finance committee. And then also trying to finalize just some top level goals. As you go through it, I list a lot of the goals that were already in there that we've been working on. Some goals shouldn't change. They should, for example, being really, having safety has been one of the goals. We have a lot of themes and a lot of pillars. If you remember the last time we did this, that we have to continue to meet. And it's just a matter of breaking some of those down into, now what do we need to look at over the next 1, 3, 5 years kind of thing. So if you want to go through that, if you have questions, please reach out to me by email if you want, or come in and see me. And I'll kind of walk through if there's something you don't quite understand. This thing I've been working on for a while, whatever, but it's actually smaller than it was before. So, and it lists some possible goals, but it'll just kind of get you in the framework, and then we can continue to meld that framework together over the next few meetings.
Okay.
And also part of this. Some of these slides are going to be for the workshop tomorrow. For the chamber luncheon tomorrow, when we do the state of the city. And if you'll see in the notes that were sent out from the weekly department head, kind of what's going to be covered in there, but it's going to be, we usually don't have a whole lot of time. We got about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how much, what's left within the meeting, but there'll be some of this will be discussed in kind of that transition, what we're going to be going through. That's all I have.
Thing for the administrator. Okay, Galen, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I have no report tonight, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Mayor and council reports. Go ahead, start with Councilman Kilpack.
The only thing I had is, Reed, do you have a date that you got in mind when we're going to do our first meeting with this, or are we still trying to decide when we're going to do this first meeting on this?
You guys get that to me like November 3rd, and then we'll do sometime before the end of November.
Okay, because I'll be out of town for 2 weeks in the month of November, so,
Do that in there.
okay, that's all I have,
Okay,
Council President.
thanks. Councilman Williams.
I just have a couple little things. I want to say thanks to Chuck and Katie getting those lights done down there on Railroad. They jumped right on it and got it done, so they look really good. And one little thing again, lights on the west side of the river bridge are not working still. The ones on the east side of the river bridge are working. So if we can get that taken care of, that'd be great. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Citron.
I have no report this evening.
Okay, thanks. Councilman Burke.
I just, what Gary had said as far as workshopping this, we're talking about sometime in November doing it as a workshop. Okay, and so, yeah, looking over this draft doc, it looks like a lot of the citizen complaints that we've had will be addressed during this. So this kind of takes, Gary saying that we need to workshop this.
Yeah,
It'll all be in this. So, yeah, absolutely. So that's all I got.
Okay, Councilman Bush. Councilwoman Bush.
Bushman. It's okay. No, I just want to say thank you for coming and presenting and advising us as well. Obviously, we weren't aware of the ticket that you received, obviously. So I'm sure that will be addressed. But just glancing at this, there's a lot of things that's going to be covered. One thing that it's been on for me is, I would love to see this town be a tidy town. There's criteria to be part of that. But there's a lot of people that really need to step up their own pride of ownership, right? People have broken vehicles in their yards. A lot of things. Takes a lot of work. That'll take a long time to do, but it's a good goal to have. And I think we should try to strive for it at some point. It doesn't hurt to start at any time, right? Present time is now. So, but I just wanted to say thank you for coming. And that's all I have.
Okay. The only thing I had is just reminder, next Tuesday, we have that all-day meeting for state mandated training they're making us take. So I don't know the reason for it. Actually, legislators legislated it. We're doing it. So, okay. And that's all I had tonight. Next, there's no executive session. So the next item's adjournment.
Council President,
Yes.
a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, perfect.